Alrighty, fellas, good morning. Welcome back to the PokeMMO stream recap, your daily source of tips, tricks, information, conversation, everything happening inside of PokeMMO. This is stream recap 486, which is nuts. Okay, let's start it off how we normally start off with events coming up in PokeMMO. If you don't know, there's normally about 2 to 3 catch events every single week in PokeMMO, but the next catch event is March 26th, and by the time this stream recap comes out, that will have already passed. So I don't want to waste your guys' time by showing you guys a past catch event. So what I can do instead is show off a really cool community shiny hunting event that is happening right now continuously. This is hosted by Scooty Sauce. It is called Scooty's Bounty Bonanza. Embrace the more obscure Pokemon hunts and receive various prizes. I love doing events for the community, and I want to embrace some of the more obscure shiny hunts in PokeMMO. Here are some of the rules. Shiny Pokemon must be freshly caught after this post was put up. You need to either message them in game. Footage is mandatory. Make sure to record your shiny hunts. There's a lot more rules. I'm gonna skip through a lot of them, a lot more things to consider like that, but here are some of the shinies up for grabs. Now, as you can tell, one of these shinies, at least one of them, has already been claimed. Someone got a shiny Grimer over in Celadon City or Route 17. It's very specific Pokemon at very specific routes. So like you have to get a shiny Wooper at Route 32, for example. This is over in Johto. Hoenn, there's currently nothing up for grabs, at least in the easy tier. Sinnoh, you can go for a shiny Snorunt in Lake Aquity. Medicham over at Victory Road, once again in Sinnoh. Unova, nothing for tier 1 easy shunts. Tier 2 shiny hunts. These are shiny hunts for more experienced shunters, often single encounter. You can get Remoraid anywhere in Kanto. Skitty on Route 116. Like, a lot of people are just going to be shiny hunting these Pokemon anyway. That's why I wanted to shout this out. Like, Maractus over at Desert Resort, isn't that just the best way to go for Maractus? Like, the only way to truly go for Maractus? I think it's a ×3, I believe. It might be single encounter at that spot exactly. I think this is nighttime ×3 horde, and I think this is the main way to go for Maractus. So like, if you're shunting Maractus already, you might as well be like, hey Scooty, I caught a Maractus, where's my free reward points? Like, I think it's really cool, man. It's a really cool thing to show off and hopefully give people some extra rewards, literally just for shiny hunting in PokeMMO. There's also Swarm and Wild Encounter, shiny Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur prizes, 1500 RP up for grabs, and then Heracross over here, Wailmer. Also Wailmer, like, at Pacifidor or Evergrande City, like this is probably one of the easier like low tier shunts. Like, it's still hard, don't get me wrong, it's still like but with chump buckets and stuff nowadays, like this could be profitable or some good Pokeyen if you wanted to go for shiny Wailmer anyway. Like, this is a fantastic event, like literally just generously hosted by Scooty, so congratulations and thank you from him, basically, is the TLDR. But we're covering an unofficial event today, as opposed to, there's not a whole lot of official events scheduled right now. I'm sure that will change in the next coming few days. Next up, let's go ahead and cover our achievement showcase. As always, if you want to be in the achievement showcase is, since there's a lack of an achievement diary or an achievement like direction in game in PokeMMO, there's a lack of in-game direction, like I just said, direction in that way. I like to try to shout out players who achieve achievements in PokeMMO, achieve things, are doing cool stuff. This does 2 things. And number 1, lets those players flex, and then number 2, gives you guys some ideas on what you can do. Maybe in a sec, Tom, if you don't mind. So first things first, Demi-Urg completed all 5 storylines in about 173 hours. I think it's pretty good in my opinion. Completed all 5 storylines as a new player. Said that he planned to do some shiny hunting and get a few legendaries, and then potentially after that, maybe start an Ironman account. So congratulations to him. Getting all 5 regions done it unlocks PokeMMO. It's really such a massive achievement, even though it's like the end game players like myself will say that's when the game begins, which is kind of true, but it's almost like it's like a giant gate being unlocked. It's like a new section, a whole new part of the game, if you know what I mean. All right, next up, a returning player. Steejic came back to the game after playing between 2013 and 2018, grinded the event and had a blast the day after it ended. I caught my first shiny in Pokemon while Eevee training, and then 3 days later won the Roselia catch event. And that Roselia event will actually come back up, which is kind of funny. But this is really sick, man. This player was able to return to the game, get a shiny, get some Pokeyen from the event, it seems like, and as well as win the Roselia catch event, man. Some good RNG for a returning player with a few hundred hours, man. Congratulations to you, Steejik, once again. Next up, this guy just randomly ran into a shiny nose pass while completing his Pokedex. That's hard to do. You don't really randomly get a lot of nose pass encounters. It's not something you get like one or two of during the storylines, maybe like a few rock smashes here and there. It's generally only a rock. I think you can hoard it as well somewhere. Nose pass is a super undershunted Pokemon. Really beautiful shiny, really unique Pokemon, really cool Pokemon, very undershunted. Congrats on getting it randomly over to Zen. Next up, Boat coming out here being like, I know 80k isn't the longest dry streak, but it felt like forever, only my second shiny. Something doesn't need to be the longest dry streak for this to be an insane achievement. 80k dry is fucking hard. Like, that is a long shunt. That's an intense shunt. Like, even if you do time swipe hordes, 80,000 encounters is like 80 hours on average. And if you're playing like a normal human and not like an efficient robot, it's probably closer to like 100 hours. You know, 100 hours for one video game achievement is intense. Yeah, 80k is a grind. It's easy to be like, oh man, 5 times hordes are the easiest shiny in PokeMMO, so it's not a big deal. Dude, the easiest shiny in PokeMMO is still insanely difficult and insanely impressive. Like the easiest shiny, which is, you know, time swipe hordes near a PC, obviously discluding mysterious balls and like money stuff, but like it's about a 30-hour shiny hunt on average, right? 30-hour shiny hunt. 30 hours is like double the hours most people spend completing a video game. The average video game takes, I believe, 8 to 12 hours. Like, it's even like 3 times. Like, one easy shiny in PokeMMO takes 3 times the hours of completing, or like completing 3 video games essentially. That's really fucking impressive, man. Congratulations to Boat on an 80k dry shiny Gligar. Very, very, very deserved. And hopefully you get some wet RNG in the future to even things out. Now, next up, Zane. A bit of a long read through his post here. Zane, I started playing the game back in 2016, but I never really started taking it seriously until just after this last 2025 Xmas event. I super understand like that sentiment. I did that with RuneScape, where I played very casually for many years, and like you really have like a lock-in moment eventually, you know. Even with PokeMMO, I guess, come back in like 2020, for example. Since then, I've completed all 5 regions, got my first shiny Pokemon, got my first 1 million Pokeyen, that I've since spent on mysterious ball. Oh, yes, no, sorry, not mysterious balls, just balls. Okay, good. Balls and catching materials. He's doing all the good shit. Hell yeah, dude. I just assumed mysterious balls. My apologies. And finally, as of today, completed the Pokedex. Bro has completed the Pokedex, got all regions done, and then developed his account. This is so sick, man. He says thanks to my Discord, which is once again just the PokeMMO community. I always say, like, my Discord is very barely mine. It's really ran by my mods in the community. Like, I have so little time to touch that, to deal with the Discord. So thanks to everybody. Yeah, they're just amazing. Yeah, that would be really funny, Park. That's what this is just so, yeah, honestly, 374 hours with all of this done is so impressive. Also, his first shiny being a Miltank is ridiculous. Was it single encounter or something? Because that is like really, really good. Miltank is one of those 80-20 split hordes, so it's pretty fucking tough to get a Miltank. I'm assuming this was like single encounter while Ditto farming would be my guess, or like legendary hunting. Super awesome achievements from Zane. Congratulations to you, man. Really solid, like, perfect progression from a newer, or like it seems fucked up to tell someone with 300 to 400 hours played in a video game, like, oh yeah, you're a newer player. Like, he's not really, you know what, it's that weird MMO dichotomy. That is perfect progression for someone becoming a fucking gamer, you know what I mean? Like, it's a gamer progression in my opinion. Next up, Knack got shiny Oddish 9 minutes into the Roselia catching event, and then ended up also getting 3rd place in the event. A shiny and 3rd place in the event is super sick to see. Congratulations. OT shiny number 9. I think shiny Oddish is super underrated. I love Blossom, but I think Oddish is like Oddish is a little green cute ball, man. I think Oddish is very, very underrated. Next up, I like this one a lot. Not really an achievement, they say, but my friend was farming Meowth, went to dinner, and a shiny Meowth popped up in the last horde before he went AFK, and he forgot about it and came back and realized he lost it. This is like my nightmare, because I've done this. If you've played Pokemon long enough, I'm sure you've done this. Done a horde while you're like stepping away from your PC. I've definitely just forgotten when the wife comes home or some shit from work. I've definitely done this, and it is a nightmare coming back and realizing, and then this poor soul to actually come back to a shiny. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for your loss. To Greg's friend. Greg's friend, F's to you, my friend. Thank you for sharing. I think this is the perfect kind of thing to share. This is an achievement in my book. A lost shiny is an achievement in my book, man. Congratulations to Rip GG's to Greg's friend. And then finally, Spidget, fellow PokeMMO content creator, streamer, and PvP connoisseur, recently took down a PvP tournament. If you want to see how he did it, there's a video up on his channel over on YouTube to go see what's going on. I'm gonna hopefully get around to watching that today if possible. Congratulations to you, Spidget. You love to see it, man. I think it's fucking hard, like being a content creator and streaming PvP and worrying about getting sniped, or like being at a disadvantage because people can see your team sheet and or just know how you play. People can watch your footage and understand you a lot better. It is tough. I can't imagine being a PvP content creator. It is harder than just being a normal Pokemon content creator, in my opinion. This is really fucking impressive, Spidget. Congratulations to you, man, and I'm always fucking happy to see it. All right, that is our stream recap intro. I'm sure chat will have lots of questions, talking points, and just discussion to happen today about PokeMMO. Let's go ahead and jump into it and actually make some progress and play our video game. This is a great question. One question as a returning player, how important are raids, and should that be my main focus? It all comes down to what you enjoy. I think raids are a fantastic PVM goal to recommend to players immediately after beating all the 5 storylines. I always say one of the biggest things that happens in PokeMMO is players beat all the 5 storylines and then go, what do I do now? What is the end game? They don't know how to answer that question. Some of my favorite videos that I've ever created are things like 63 things to do in PokeMMO, top 5 post-game goals, top 10 end game goals. Giving players direction is one of the best things that I can hopefully do to help people, because I think it's all about creating goals and achievements. Very similar to Minecraft is always the comparison. A lot of people, they have their 2-week Minecraft phase, they beat the Ender Dragon, and then they're just done with the game. Nothing wrong with that. That's how, if you enjoy doing that with PokeMMO or Minecraft, do what you enjoy, right? There's no stress, or you don't need to feel like FOMO or behind if that's just like where you're done, right? But raids, it's if you enjoy it. It really it's if you enjoy shiny hunting, shiny hunts. If you enjoy PvP, PvP. If you enjoy raids, do raids. I think even if you don't enjoy doing raids, I'm gonna be honest, I've never been a PVM guy. I didn't really enjoy PVM in old school RuneScape. I didn't do many raids there. I didn't do a whole lot of God Wars dungeon. I'm not a huge PVM guy in most MMOs. I like skilling. I like shiny hunting. I like the grinding elements. That's just what I prefer personally, right? So but as a grinder, even if you don't like doing the raids, I don't love doing the raids, but they're objectively a really cool piece of content, and by a lot of not, feel free to disagree, but obviously by a lot of metrics, and they're very, very cool. But I really like creating raid Pokemon. Even if I don't like doing the raids, I think the task, the goal, and the achievement of giving go build like these 30 Pokemon, go build these Pokemon, get the breathe up the IVs, I think that's just a good goal and an achievement to recommend to players. That's just a ton of fun and feels really satisfying. Before raids ever existed, raids have only existed for what, 3 years? People don't realize how new so much of the endgame content in PokeMMO is. People love to complain about the lack of endgame content in PokeMMO, and to me, I understand it. The feeling is always true. The feeling to me is people don't know what to do. And it's easier to be like, the game has no content, as opposed to, I don't know what to do, to put it on yourself, right? This happens a lot in Minecraft, where people say Minecraft is, well, people don't really say that as much. Minecraft is not boring at endgame. It's literally a sandbox. PokeMMO is a sandbox, right? There's so much you can do, but you don't always have that drive or that urge, and that's just being a human. That's just playing video games, and that's, riding the roller coaster, right? But I'm rambling a lot on this question. But what did I want to get back to? You asked about how important are raids. They're really just as important as you want them to be, and I think it's a really cool task to recommend to people. Arbitrary goal, not even arbitrary, but just goals are what's really, really important in video games, and setting goals. And not everybody wants to do that all the time, which is super fair. If you want to just come home and load up Fortnite, I don't blame you, right? That's a fun, it just depends. Sometimes it just depends on the vibe, right? I feel like there was something else I wanted to touch on, but in typical Patrouski fashion, I lost my train of thought. So we'll see if I can remember that here in a quick sec. Okay, I didn't even know this. Someone asked, how do people keep track of PokeMMO events? And I always say, I check the forums every day personally is what I do. I also follow all the staff on the forums, so I get a little alert if they post a catch event update. And then obviously you can check out my Discord, which has all the events usually listed by my moderators putting that work, as well as I cover all of the catch events and all the upcoming events in PokeMMO in my videos, as well as recaps. But someone else said, Also, the PokeMMO forum events page has a calendar which you can sync with your phone calendar and get notifications on your phone whenever an event is going to be. I didn't even know that. That's very cool. That's I don't know if I would want to do that, but like that's a really cool option. Thanks for the heads up, Undreamt. I don't know how feasible this is. Maybe this would be like too much data to sort through. I love the idea of adding the ability to sort for a Pokemon's OT in the advanced search. That might be too much because obviously like searching through like every username, like maybe it's just too much. I don't know, obviously, but like being able to sort through like trying to look for my old teammates, my old friends that played the game back in 2013, or even like developer OTs are often a collected thing. You know, people like Q or Desu OTs, Teddy Ursa, Rach Lucario. There's a lot of like old cool OTs that people love to collect from like staff members and devs and even their old friends. I don't know how feasible it is, to be fair. I just don't know. I've never been a developer, so what do I know, right? It's out of my depth. But I love the idea of being able to search on the GTL by OT specifically. Hey man, just a quick question: is Magikarp farming or Ditto farming still reasonable? Great. I have so little Pokeyen is unbearable. Well, so Ditto farming very reasonable. Ditto farming super good. Magikarp farming not great Pokeyen. I'd recommend moving on from it when possible. However, I think it's one of the best from scratch money-making methods. So if you have so little Pokeyen, it's unbearable. Like being able to pay 500 Pokeyen, head into the Safari Zone and catch 30 Magikarps to be able to sell for, you know, if you spend 500 Pokeyen and can sell the carps for like even just 30k profit or like 50k or whatever, like that's really, really good. That's really good from scratch. Hopefully that helps you out a bit. Great. The market's definitely evolved a ton in terms of catching for profit. I'm excited to hopefully spend some more time on my main account very, very soon, testing a lot of these older methods and even finding newer methods to help people explore some new Pokeyen money-making methods. The Moxie Magikarp market crashes of Cherish Balls, that would be really, really good if that's true. Like that's really good for new players, because Moxie Gyarados were some of the most expensive Pokemon for a super long time because I recommended them so much. I think Moxie Gyarados is, in my opinion, obviously for you to disagree respectfully, but in my opinion, I think Moxie Gyarados is the best storyline Pokemon in all of PokeMMO. Let's go check. And they reached a point where like any Moxie Gyarados was like 50k minimum. Let's see what they are now. Still around 40k. Let's see what Magikarps are. I think it's about the same. Maybe they dropped a little bit. I wouldn't say they crashed personally. They honestly seem to be about the same from when I last checked, but I also don't check this market as much. So I could be wrong, you know? Maybe they got up to like 80k or something like that, right? Now, I think as a new player, if you can get one like this one, I would actually buy. I would recommend new players buy. The problem is to breed it down because it's so high level. That's the problem. Oh man, that's rough. But if you can get one with good nature and like 20 plus ish in attack and speed, I wouldn't buy. Calm is minus attack. I wouldn't even bother with that as a new player. You want to get through the storylines, and it's good to spend Pokeyen to get through them, but you can buy cheaper options. You don't need to spend 50k on a storyline Pokemon. If you have to or whatever, go for it. If you want to, go for it, obviously. But I try to limit spending like 5 to 20k on a few storyline Pokemon. You usually want to spend like maybe 30 to 50k total to help you get through your first storyline, and then your future storylines should be way easier and way cheaper. Getting through your first storyline is the hardest. Once you finish your first storyline, you get access to level 100 Pokemon, EV training spots, XP training. You can prepare and set up for your future storylines. Here, hard skill farming is a great example of this. I'm not a fan of hard skill farming, but people love it and they make really good Pokeyen doing it. Every time that I've tried it, I don't make good Pokeyen, and I think it's a mixture of a few things. I think people underrate how important it is to enjoy the money-making method that you're doing. I think if you don't enjoy it the same way, think of it as a sub Choco Beam, the same way that I don't enjoy hard skill farming, I think subconsciously you get a little lethargic. Dude, good for you, man. I think subconsciously, if you don't like a money-making method, I think subconsciously you get a little lethargic and get like lazy with it and don't do it as efficiently to a point where like it's going to eat into your profits. Whereas it's better to go do a money-making method that you enjoy that makes less Pokeyen per hour on average, but you might end up even making more because you're focused on it and having fun. Does that make sense? As well as you might do it for more hours, right? If someone were to ask, hey, should I do a money-making method that I hate for 200k per Pokeyen per hour, or one that I love for 150k, there's no clear answer. It's still up to you, obviously. Like, there is arguments of like, oh, if you do the one you hate for like 3 hours, that's 600k, whereas to make that same amount of money you have to do it for like, what is that, I'm terrible at math, 4 or 5 hours for the 150k. So like, it's a matter of, yeah, like an extra hour, so you save time. It's just, and that's a lot of MMOs. At endgame MMOs, a lot of it is like figuring out what you're willing to stomach and what you're, some people, like I myself, like, you reach a point where like, I just love doing methods I enjoy. Even if I'm making less Pokeyen per hour, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna enjoy the game. I think a lot of players end up burning out from MMOs because they want to do the most efficient thing, but they don't derive joy from doing the most efficient thing. Some people just do, which is awesome, right? But I think a lot of people push themselves too hard to do things they don't want to do, and then like, oh my god, the game is so miserable, blah blah blah, and it's like, you're not doing the things that you enjoy. If you just did the things that you enjoy, you might have a lot more fun. You might be a little bit less efficient, but you'll feel a lot better in the long run, and you'll even be more efficient in the long run by enjoying the game and playing the game, right? So just, life's all about fun. Video games are all about fun. Like, you know, at the core of it, right? Just, I would encourage people to do a lot more money making methods they enjoy, even if they make a little bit less Pokeyen per hour. It's worth it sometimes, and just mix it up. I'm a big fan of like eating your vegetables. I do 1 Jimmy run a day, and that's my main Pokeyen money making, and then I kind of just do whatever I want from there. Why are there always so many people in Vermilion City? Is that a player hub kind of? Yes, yep, a lot of people hang out in Vermilion City, the dock cities in the game. So like Slateport, Vermilion, any city with the boat to travel between regions is a lot of times where people hang out. So a funny thing is, dude, people used to hang out so much more. People hang out way less in PokeMMO. People are always like, they're always doing something now. They're always like grinding, shiny hunting, like so much more of, and I always joke about how like so much more of endgame PokeMMO content used to just be the social element of just hanging out in Vermilion. AFK in Vermilion was like a skill, like a strat that was talked about. Flexing your shinies, talking the shooting the shit. And spinning. I always talk about how like spinning has been one of the most integral pieces of endgame content in Pokemon since like 2012. People used to hold spinning competitions to see how fast and how many rotations you could do. I was awful at it, but it's funny to see how much the game has evolved and how like it's become more efficient sized, for sure, for better, for, you know, a lot of players are getting really good at the game, which is really cool to see because of the game getting more efficient. But we also see a little bit less whimsy, a little bit less pure joy, I would say. I actually love this question. I almost wonder if I could like do a whole video like talking about this topic. Someone said if you only have like 5 to 15 minutes to play PokeMMO, like in between, you know, certain IRL activities, what do you do during that time frame? Myself, as an Ironman account, I set up breeds. I'm always looking at my boxes, looking at my PC, trying to find breeds to set up to help clear up that space. As a main account, I think going and catching certain Pokemon, maybe even setting up breeds for profit yourself, a little bit of payday pickup in here and there is really good. Flipping, if you're good at flipping, someone said it in chat, one of the best things you can do with short frames of time, because you have to wait for stuff to sell anyway. So if you have like 15 minutes before work to play PokeMMO and like only 15 minutes, flip for 15 minutes, list your sales, go to work, let them sell, and then come home, or like wait, you know, a few days or a few weeks until they sell, and then bam. Like, that's, flipping is one of the best money making methods if you're low on time, but it takes knowledge and time to learn flipping. So that's like the catch-22, right? And it's a little bit risky as well if you're you know, risking some Pokeyen. So just, but it's a great question that honestly could deserve its own video. That's not true, Diego. You're joking. Hey Pat, love to see you back. Did you see Mysterious Great Ball 2023s are 140k? No, they aren't. Did someone like just buy, are they just temporarily that price? They got bought out? 91% increase over the past 7 days. Oh, okay, this is bought. This price will not last. People will list theirs. Don't, you know, this is an important buyout in Pokemon history. I think this is one of the most interesting investments. I'm invested heavily in this item. I've talked about it being the best Mysterious Ball. I think it's amazing, and that's why I invested into it. I mean, I've been very open about that, you know. That's insane. This is obviously a buyout. I think it'll drop, but it might rise like 10 or 20% long term because of this buyout. Like, that's the thing to factor in type beat. That's insane. A 100% increase almost in a week. That graph is wild. Wait, what? I didn't know that. Okay, wait. That's so fucking cool. I knew, I'll have to do a guide on this at some point. I knew that people have been toying around with Articuno as the new strategy for trainer reruns instead of Cloyster. I didn't know the reason why is because obviously with the legendary bird trio, you get a secret hidden ability. I can show it really quick. There's a secret hidden ability called Coalescence that gives you a small chance to get elemental orbs when doing the fight. I didn't know that Coalescence procced on trainer fights so that you get like, does anybody with experience, how many elemental orbs do you get per run? Do you know? Someone said I've gotten 5 in 2 runs. That seems really high. So if I put Articuno in the front of my party, it says Coalescence has a chance to create elemental orbs when fading foes with ice type moves. I got 1 in 3 runs, usually about 1 per run. Okay. Okay, that makes more sense to me. But that's an elemental orb is like what, 20k? So if you do the run with Articuno, 17k. Instead of Cloyster, you have a chance to just make 17,000 extra Pokeyen like per run. That's really good. I didn't know that was that's so interesting. That's so cool. I'll have to look more into that and see what I can do with a guide. But that is, thanks for the heads up, chat, and all the people who like the people who worked to discover that is so fucking cool, man. I didn't know it worked on trainer fights. Alrighty, fellas, the berries are planted, the yaps have been had. I think that's the end of today's stream recap. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Like it if you did, dislike if not. Subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO videos. I do upload every single day. Follow me on Twitch, usually for streams around Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's down below if you're interested in that. And if you want to go above and beyond and support the content, YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal and Venmo do help out a lot. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. I will see you guys tomorrow for a catch event and other things. Have a good one. For now, peace, Reno. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here. I wanted to take this second to say thank you so much for watching the entire video. It is thanks to people like you I'm able to make the content that I do, as well as everybody whose name is listed here. That's it for me. Have a fantastic day.